Good morning, Joe.
Hello, Christine. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming into the studios. Tell me about the moment you met them.
Well, I was booked to play Christmas Island, and I was very excited about that. Of course I was. The first thing that went into my mind is that I've been supporting their cause for some years. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to maybe take them some presents and, say hello. Actually, wasn't sure that I would be able to say hello, but I discovered that anyone can actually visit someone in detention, and it's a really wonderful thing to do. You apply to the relevant department, you email them, and they send you a form. You fill out the form, and provided the person in detention approves it and you pass the security checks, then you're allowed to visit.
I wonder how they would have felt when they received that form, when they received notification that they had a person from Perth that wanted to visit them.
Well, yeah, I actually got their contact through Angela Fredericks, who runs their campaign on Change, and that was change.org, and that was my first contact with their case.
Wow. They approved you. You made the journey there, which I understand involves 2 flights, and it's not
it's a long journey, and Christmas Island is a wonderful place. One of the wonderful things about it is it's protected from being overwhelmed by tourism just by its remoteness. It actually costs more to return to Christmas Island from Perth than it does to return to London. So it's an incredibly unspoilt and beautiful place. So I actually got taken up to where the detention centre is, up on top of the hill, and I was feeling obviously really quite nervous. And when I first set eyes on them, actually it was heartbreaking. It's dehumanising to see a family walking with guards surrounding them, a short 50-metre walk to the recreation centre. Now, they're allowed to go there once a week, and so I was a bit nervous about it.
Why were you nervous?
I guess because I didn't know what to expect. After someone's been held in isolation under really cruel and inhumane conditions for such a long time, I didn't know what to expect. And what actually happened was they came in and they were just so super kind and lovely. The 2 little kids were playing together, and they'd made a cake for me, a small cake.
Did they?
Yeah, and even with the sort of really meagre conditions that they've got access to a very small kitchen and not very much in the way of ingredients, I will never forget the hospitality and the flavour of that beautiful cake that Nades made. So thank you, Nades, for that.
What did they make? What kind of cake?
It was a little sponge cake, and it was quite plain, but it just tasted lovely. It had love in it.
What do you say to a family that you've been following for so long? They don't know you, you don't know them, but you've heard so much. What were your first words to them?
Yeah, well, that was one of the things that I was concerned about, was how's the conversation going to go? But actually what happened, Priya sat down and suddenly words just tumbled out from her. And they were really lovely, hospitable people, but when she started talking about her experience, which the trauma, and an experience like this is a lifelong trauma you carry with you, she started to, break a little bit, and it was very hard for her.
What did you do in that moment when she was sharing with you?
I let her talk, and I listened. I just really actively listened to what she had to say, and just felt a mutual presence of being human and together, which is something that they've been deprived of. Because if you think about it, it's one thing to take people who are innocent, completely innocent, no charges, no criminal, nothing, and detain them. But it's another thing to detain them on a really isolated island and keep them in a tiny little place. 109 staff, 109 full-time paid staff, staring at them all of the time.
How did you say goodbye to them? How long were you there for with them?
I was there with them for about an hour, and we said goodbye with a hug, and I have to say I'll never forget that. I'll never forget my experience of meeting them. I would say to anyone, if you have time, visit someone in detention, visit a refugee, because the little bit of love you get put out is just 1,000-fold back. It's life changing, and it's wonderful, and I feel like I've got friends for life with them.